March 17th. Then activate your brackets in person at Warhorse Casino Lincoln by the 24th. The best brackets will win prizes each week, and a perfect bracket puts $1 million in your pocket. Get all the dates and details at warhorsecasino.com, plus even more ways to score big. Only at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Minutes from downtown at Highway 77 in West Denton Road. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Attention all Nebraska basketball fans. The NCAA tournament is coming soon, and Nebraska looks to be on its way to their first appearance in 10 years. Better Tree Removal wants to celebrate the occasion and any possible success in the tournament by offering a deal. If you're in need of tree removal on your property, call or text Todd by March 20th. If Nebraska wins the first round game, you'll get 25% off the bid. If they win two, you'll get 50% off. You must contact Todd at 402-780-1377 before March 20th.
Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those magical 2 days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 21st and 22nd at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday and get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, it is. It is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico joining you. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's the day? Hanging in there for the most part?
I am good. I'm sorry. Trying to figure things out.
That's right. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Hello. I will let people know the reason I've been out. Been a little under the weather. Still am a little under the weather. Not contagious under the weather. That's not been the case all week for me, thankfully.
Thank goodness.
No. I know there's a lot of junk going around. That's not the case for me. Just some issues with the old voice box, according to the doctor. Huge thanks to the folks, CHI Health. Get me right.
Nick was sending in his resume to be
No,
the new athletic director.
Hey, I was not. Today was a heck of a day to take a sick day, though, because holy cow. It was actually kind of interesting. I got out of the doctor appointment, the doctor appointment, and I got a text that said of the tweet that was, hey, Texas A&M reaching out to Trev Alberts, targeting, he's expected to take the job. There's a lot to it. And a lot of opinions have been made today. A lot of venting has occurred. I think there's still a lot of venting to do, and so therefore, Rico and I really today just kind of want to open it up to you guys. 402-464-5685 on the Honda Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line. Let us know where are you at right now. I mean, has the initial emotion has the initial emotion kind of worn off about everything? And if so, that's great. Why? If you're still pissed off more than any other Husker fan, let us know why. 402-464-5685. City Worker, not true.
Untrue.
Very, very not true.
Come on, City Worker.
I'll tell people, I got laryngitis. My voice box is completely destroyed right now. So we're getting better. Obviously, I'm a lot better than I was Tuesday.
Nick,
a lot better than I was on Monday.
I heard Nick, he left us a voice message to show us how his voice was.
Hey, Rico, I'm going to tell you this. I'm guilty to take sick days unless I'm truly sick, but I feel like I have to prove to people.
Nick, I'm going to be honest
that
with you.
I'm sick.
When I was going to text this, but I didn't because I knew that you were feeling bad. When you have to explain to people, hey, I really don't like doing this.
I hate it, man.
And I never take sick days. But, when you open your sentence with that, it's like, I know. I knew you were, but it's like, Nick,
I hate it so much because I feel like I have to prove my sickness to you that I really can't talk. And talking's a big part, and being able to speak clearly is a big part of what we do on a daily basis.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Just down some more lozenges.
Yeah, that heavy on the lozenges.
Maybe that's why you got too many lozenges.
Too many cough and throat relief.
That's what it is.
Halls is trying to kill me.
When the whole don't take more than one in 2 hour span, and you took 5 in an hour.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
How about this? Wow. So John and Beatrice starting this off with my large Trev Alberts picture is headed to the trash, and he sent us a picture of a Trev Alberts photo, number one in the hearts of Husker fans. Talks all of Trev Alberts' accomplishments, and it's in the trash can.
Hey, don't throw that away. Bring it down here.
I mean, so okay, here we go.
John, just bring it to the station.
So here we go. How about this? Latex Mauer. Dang, that's mean. MySpace man, you're my MySpace man. You say that. Dino says moved on from it. And I do feel like Trev stabbed us in the back. Need to get this president spot filled first. Okay, we can start there, right? Because there's a lot to this. There's a lot to this idea of it's the lack of leadership idea, and I think that partially could be true. I think there's also a lot more to it. We could talk about priorities of the university. I know DP went in depth on that last night, and I kind of want to piggyback on that because I'm curious on where the priorities of the university is and are. Because you look at some of the things that the university, I don't know, publicly supports, I guess. And yeah, they do so with their student athletes to an extent. I think that they could do more there. And I also, the University of Nebraska is proud of a lot of things. Academic-wise, proud of a lot of things. I think there's a lot to be said for the chancellor is firmly on the academic side of things. We know that the way Nebraska is structured, that the president oversees and handles a lot of the athletic decisions. And I think a part that maybe has been overlooked in all of this is that the priority, especially over the last 7 months and so, while there hasn't been a permanent president in place, is that maybe priorities got mixed around and lost in translation more so than usual. Because we're seeing where most of the time at a place like Nebraska, you need to publicly show unity in every athletic decision you make. Whether that is, in this case, the $450 million expansion, which we know that when it's all said and done, probably going to be around that $575-600 million.
That's usually what
just
happens.
Knowing the construction estimates, and Trev was upfront about that. But there was public disagreement, I think, with some of the people in charge, and in this case, the Board of Regents. And so I think that a lot of times Nebraska is very proud of their academics. They are the med school, the law degree, the law school, the business college. They're proud of them, and they have a right to be. But it's not as public as maybe the athletic department is. And I'm not saying that this is a case where you need athletics to take priority over academics, right? Because you'll have the people that come out of the woodwork and say, hey, well, now hold on. Are they student athletes or are they just athletes who go to school? And we can debate on that different subject for a very long time until we're blue in the face. But ultimately, at the end of the day, especially at a place like Nebraska, where now in this changing landscape of college athletics need to be public and they need to show unity. And I think that now a move like this with Trev Alberts has shown, hey, maybe there wasn't so much unity as we thought. And maybe not everybody agreed on what the purpose and the main goals were going forward.
The hard part of that statement is that you would see Trev at every single sporting event that he could make it to.
Yeah, right?
He's at men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, football, gymnastics, track and field, wrestling. He's making it to all of these different events, right? And he's making himself seen. He's not, up in the box hiding. He's sitting front row. He's storming the court with the fans for the men's basketball win against Purdue. And as I said yesterday with Austin, the athletic side of this university it's took such a massive uptick this last school season, whatever we're talking about. Words are hard. This last year, football is on an uptick. They just got their, best rated recruit since they started the STAR system. Volleyball makes it to another championship game, another Final Four. Wrestling has 9 guys going to the national championship. Track and field just wrapped up their indoor season with multiple All-Americans as they competed at nationals in Boston. Bowling is top 5 once again. Women's basketball finishes runner-up in the Big Ten Conference. Men's basketball is on its way to the NCAA tournament, hopefully for the first time in 10 years. All of these athletics are on the upswing. And yes, you can't, to me yesterday, I was talking about, the athletic director, how much pull, how much sway do they actually have in the success of these athletic events? But even so, he is the athletic director for the year where Nebraska athletics is having such a successful year. And he's making himself, he's engaging himself with the public. He's engaging himself with the athletes and the regular fans by not hiding up in a box and by being down there with everybody. So it's difficult to see, like, when he ends up leaving and he ends up going to Texas A&M, what aspect made him leave? Because it can't be, that things weren't going well on the athletic side of things. So when you hear things about, maybe some higher ups or whatever it is, we're not going to know. We're never going to know. But that's something that we need to take a hard look at.
Well, I think part of it also is that when you look at the success in athletic programs, part of that is Trev Alberts. I think part of that is an applause to the coaches, right? The Mark Mannings of the world, the Will Bolts, the Rhonda Revels, the Amy Williams, the Fred Hoibergs, Matt Rule, right? I think this conversation can go even deeper than football. On one hand, right, where it's like the success of the programs is a testament to the coaches in some instances. I also think then On the other side, it is Trev Alberts and the relationship that he tries or wants to cultivate with coaches, I think, to a certain extent. On the other side of it all is that you wonder, I think just the unity piece comes in, unity and diversity. I just think are such a big key here, where there's a group of folks that want to live in the old days, right? The old historic Nebraska ways. And there's another group that says, hey, you know what? We need to adapt to the current times. And what I mean by that is be willing to make adjustments. We always talk about that in the scope of like a single team or philosophy, right? Whether we're talking about Fred Hoiberg saying, hey, you got to adapt to like this defensive first mentality, still shoot threes, still do what you want, space the floor, but adapt in other ways. Now we could talk about it on a big picture, where I think Trev Alberts always talked about openly, at least, and that's what we can go off of right now, the change in the landscape of intercollegiate athletics, right? The NIL world, the players making LLCs for themselves and recruiting nowadays, and how to handle coaching situations and coaching hiring and firings and things like that. Trev gave, I think, Husker fans on the outside a sense of calm when saying, hey, listen, you know what? Nebraska's poised to be in a pretty good spot regarding all the changing landscape. And if if Nebraska's not in a good spot, he's going to work to get them into a quality spot for it. And I think sometimes now with a move like this, you kind of realize, okay, yeah, Trev certainly wasn't perfect, I'm sure, behind the scenes. And while that's all speculation, the same thing of speculation can be said for the people above Trev and the big donors and the Board of Regents in this case. And I think the chancellor has a conversation in here as well, or the lack of having a permanent president. And so both parties, Trev and then this other group of people, can both be at fault here, I think.
The powers that be.
I think that ultimately, and as we look at other universities and the way that other people kind of run athletic departments, it's not that Nebraska has struggled to adapt. It's that they've struggled being on the same page on how they want to adapt. And what I mean by that is basically it goes back to the unity piece. Is everybody on the same page with the direction they want to go and 100% willing to do so? Because
even if you're not 100% willing, are you willing to give it a chance?
Yeah, like, because this feels like Trev in a way was saying, yeah, it wasn't a I'm not getting my way. It's that there's no middle ground.
You have people on this side, you have people on this side, and we're trying to come to some agreement, but nobody can seem to come to an agreement on what they want to do. And like you kind of, comparing it to sports, it's, when you hear people talk about football in the 90s and how, you need to get back to this and you need to do that. Well, look, as things move forward, things progress, you need to make some changes. You can't always go back to, what was working back then might not work now. So these are things that you need to improve upon. And yeah, you're right. It's trying to find a solid middle ground and being able to come to some sort of agreement on any of the issues that you're trying to tackle. And Trev Alberts, on the outside seemed like he was making an effort to make these decisions and to come to some type of ending agreement to some of these decisions. But for him, it's really hard to make any leeway when there's no president, when there's nobody, you have the Board of Regents at the tippy top, but there's nobody that in between from Trev Alberts to the Board of Regents to help make any of these decisions. And it's been that way for 7 months. And it's crazy how you look. And I said it yesterday. I don't know what goes into hiring a president. All right. I don't know what the president has to do or what you have to look for in a president before you make the decision. But I don't feel like it should take 7 months. When your sitting president let you know 7 months ago, hey, I'm going to leave and I'm going to leave in January. Like, he was still there until January before he left for Ohio State. You knew he was going to leave and you still did. It's not that you did nothing, but apparently it's March already and you still don't have a president.
Well, a president or even finalists. Like, that's my thing, is that originally this should not take this long. right, to fill that seat.
I don't think it should.
But in addition to that, like, there's not even finalists. Like, we couldn't sit here and give you 3 realistic names in that. Yeah, these are the 3 that they're looking at. These are the 3 that they've narrowed it down to, and they're going to pick from one of these 3 within the next 30 days. We can't do that. No, nobody really knows where they're at in the search. And so that's a little alarming. I also think, like, back to the unity piece before we step aside. And once again, 402-464-5685. Like, back to the united leadership part of it. We know that there was pushback internally regarding the new Memorial Stadium expansion. We knew that Trev is very, very big on, we don't do debt. He doesn't like debt. He doesn't want Nebraska athletics to be in debt. And he made it a very big part of his tenure to be paying off all of Nebraska's debts, whether that's coaching contracts, whether that's the Go Big project, whatever it is. And so in Trev's case, to start this new Memorial Stadium expansion on the South Stadium, to have to go to boosters publicly, right? Where it's, hey, by the way, we know that 200 and some million was going to be privately donated, but the other amount was going to need to be publicly funded. Well, if I were to go to Rico, who's a big time booster, and say, hey, can you provide some money for this? And he goes, well, who's the long-term president? That's got to be pretty difficult to have somebody fork over some millions of dollars. There's a lot of issues at hand, a lot of issues. And I think it just goes back to priorities. I think it goes back to what is the number one focus, as kind of DP talked about last night. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll go ahead and continue this conversation on the next side. 402-464-5685. Stick around. Also, there is a lot going on top of this. We're going to dive into Husker basketball, because through all of this, I found myself sitting there last night watching Michigan and Penn State going, man, isn't it nice to not have Nebraska basketball playing on a Wednesday? And now here we are on Thursday. I just watched Minnesota and Michigan State finish up. Michigan State defeated 9-seed Minnesota, and now Maryland is facing off against Wisconsin. Isn't it nice that Nebraska's not playing on a Thursday?
It's crazy.
It's pretty good feeling. So that's going on. Selection Sunday is on Sunday, and there's a public event that you're certainly welcome to attend. And tonight, as well as Saturday, the Omaha Supernovas have a match. And so we'll talk all about that and give you a chance to win some tickets to tonight's Supernovas event coming up next on the Happy Hour. Stick with us. Empire Fence and Netting is the proud sponsor of the Happy Hour. Appreciate them as always. So we'll step aside. 402-464-5685. We'll do all that coming up next.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Thursday, March 14th, versus the Atlanta Vibe at CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 6 p.m. with first serve at 7. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com. where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
The countdown is on for the biggest tournament in college basketball. The clock is ticking, and a whopping $1 million is waiting for you. Warhorse Festival of Games is giving you a chance to earn the bragging rights of a lifetime. Oh, and one massive jackpot. Will your bracket beat them all? Here's how it works. Rack up bonus bracket entries by hitting the slots and placing sports and racing wagers starting March 1st at Warhorse Casino. Lock in your winning picks online after the teams are announced March 17th. Then activate your brackets in person at Warhorse Casino Lincoln by the 24th. The best brackets will win prizes each week, and a perfect bracket puts $1 million in your pocket. Get all the dates and details at warhorsecasino.com. Plus even more ways to score big. Only at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with proof credit. Stock number G214773.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Tominaga was hot for the Huskers. He had 30 points in the ball game. They are a lock for the tournament. They are in. They are a lock.
Write it down.
Nothing could take away Nebraska.
Where do you have
basketball.
them at?
Well, I'm curious if Bilotology and Jake are on the same page. I'd say 8 to 9 seed right now. I don't think they're the 10.
I say an 8.
Okay.
I say an 8 seed right now.
8 to 9
That's
seed.
right. I see him as an 8.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico with you. What a wild 2 days it's been. It's been less than a day since we found out, confirmed, that Trev Alberts was leaving Nebraska. A little over 24 hours since the news was broke by the Houston Chronicle that he was being targeted. I would ask you guys this then. Right. And going off of our last question, and please want to hear your guys' thoughts, 402-464-5685. that I would ask you guys that here's what do you want out of the next guy or gal? What do you want? Because my instant thought is, and I tweeted this out yesterday as my mind is running in circles here. Tweeted this out yesterday that to kind of buckle up because it might be a pretty lengthy process. Just because I'd imagine that it's going to be pretty difficult to hire a quality athletic director before you hire a president.
I was going to say, you got to get the president first.
Well, especially in a way that Nebraska's system is set up to where the president has his hands pretty involved and entrenched into the athletic system.
But that was pretty recent, wasn't it? Like Ted Carter got that within the last 2 or 3 years.
He did.
Like got more, got his hands more tied into the athletics and got it put into whatever they changed something in their guidelines that allowed the president to have more athletic say so.
So I think what's crazy is I would look at this and say, okay, one thing that we do mention about Trev multiple times is that he was active, right, in games. And this is taking everything away from what he did at his office and what happened outside of the Memorial Stadium walls or his office walls. And in the public eye, Trev was at games, whether it was wrestling, whether it was women's basketball, volleyball, men's basketball, football. And he'd be in one city one day. And I think depending on who you ask, you could just say, well, that's doing his job. And I think that I could agree with you on that.
To a certain point, yes.
But it hasn't been that way in Nebraska prior to Trev Alberts.
Yeah.
Like Sean Eichhorst wasn't in the public eye. You couldn't go up to Sean Eichhorst and just be like, hey, what's up, Mr. Eichhorst? And have a minute and a half conversation with him.
I mean,
we had Sean.
A joke at the old station that we had a robot voice that was Sean Eichhorst's voice.
Yeah.
Like that was Sean Eichhorst. Like, I don't think it's in the job description for an athletic director that you have to be at all of these athletic events. It's not like the athletic director has to go to gymnastics events or has to go to track meets, has to go to basketball and football. It's just a good look. It's just and then talking to people after, like talking to not the other power brokers, but just talking to fans because Trev would do that.
Well, I think also part of it when you look at this, and this goes back to Nebraska needing more. Gosh dang it!
You're not wrong.
Here's the thing: I say diversity, and people instantly go to race. And this is a very touchy subject, so we don't want to stay on it for too long. I think diversity can be kind of all encompassing, whether you want to include the race piece of it, that's whatever. I think just youthful energy, also
age.
I think that would play a factor because now we're starting to see Nebraska is proud of their university, as they should be, right? And you're in a Power 2 conference. But I would ask you this question: is if Nebraska applied for Big Ten entry today, or even a year ago, would they have gotten in? Would they have been allowed into the Big Ten? And that's we're going to leave that as an open-ended question.
You can answer that if you want.
Are the academics good enough? Have the athletic programs from top to bottom in the major sports been good enough? And is there stability in leadership? And that goes from the Board of Regents to the president to the chancellor to the athletic director. And so once again, it's like it's an open-ended question that we will probably never have an answer to. But Nebraska is in a Power 2 conference. And maybe this was the case when Trev Alberts was still the athletic director, but it most certainly is now. Feels really unstable. And I think maybe that's why this stings a lot, because one day it felt like, okay, as a Nebraska fan, it was, okay, yeah, you feel pretty good about, at least somebody is in there steering the ship or trying to steer the ship in the right way, or at least preventing it from going down the really dark path and maybe just into a path. What did Marshawn Lynch say to Dr. Fauci? He was like, we are on a path.
We are on a path.
But now all that's gone in basically what felt like a blink of an eye. And so I think what Nebraska probably needs, should desire in their next leader of their athletic department and president, whether it's guy, girl, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody fit for the job that I think is youthful, is forward thinking. And in turn, what we'd expect is that they hire a president first, that president's vision aligns with Chancellor Bennett's and also with whoever the athletic director is going to be.
Whoever they end up hiring.
Because
hopefully,
if it's not, we're going to find ourselves in 2 years from now going down this exact same path where the vision from the Board of Regents doesn't align with the president and or athletic director and or chancellor. And that's how I feel, right? And so if it's one of Nebraska's own, I sure. If it's not, sure.
I don't think it has to be
it's gotta
one
be
of Nebraska's own. Like you've, and this isn't to take anything away from what Trev did, but you've tried that with your football coach 2 coaches ago, 2 coaches ago, and now with your most recent AD. You've tried the let's get one of our own to lead us on this path, and it hasn't worked out. It didn't work out with the football coach, and with the AD leaving, it didn't work out with your AD. Yes, Trev did some amazing things, and for some people, they see Trev as just a figurehead, right? They're like, oh, the athletic director, he has some power, doesn't have a lot of power, but at least with Trev, at least with that figurehead, you had a guy who was present, a guy who was, he said it himself that transparency and trust was a big part of what he wanted. And from all accounts, all accounts and purposes, listening to what Trev had to say and hearing, what people said about Trev, before he ended up leaving, he was a very transparent guy. He was a very trustworthy guy. And all of the coaches within the university really liked Trev Alberts. And like I said, he was present at all of these things. If he was just a figurehead, that was probably the best figurehead you could have asked for.
I don't know. We're going to have this conversation for weeks to come, right? And maybe there's going to be more clarity provided. Maybe there's going to be more bad news, brought to the forefront for Nebraska as a department, right? And maybe we'll learn more as we go. Sure, there's a lot of speculation and there's a lot of just opinions out there, and it's good. It's good to have the opinions of it, but I think Nebraska. This is a very, very crucial point in what will be their history, because you're going to look back on this and say, if it doesn't work, Nebraska took way too long to hire a permanent president. You took way too long to get the right people in the room, if there are wrong people in the room. And whoever they hire as the next athletic director, at the end of the day, this is a results-driven business. And one thing that Trev did, and at least led, I suppose, was the completion of the Go Big project, bowling stadium upgrades, whether you're a fan of the idea or not, the Memorial Stadium expansion. He brings in Matt Rule. He decided not to fire Fred Hoiberg when all the statistics probably showed you, it's probably time to move on. Now, I'm sure there's some negative things in there, but, and one of those, sure, the lawsuit, because everybody's bringing it up. And so, there's priorities that need to be figured out and identified. And until Nebraska figures out what is priority number one, as DP always says, Nebraska's going to have plenty of issues. Plenty of issues. All right, let's give away some Omaha Supernovas tickets. We'll take 2 winners for 4 tickets. You can either have tonight's match or Saturday's match. We are not going to say who they're playing yet, because my trivia question is this. In the Pro Volleyball Federation, the Omaha Supernovas are tied for first place. Who are they tied with? Who is the other team in the Pro Volleyball Federation that the Omaha Supernovas are tied with in first place? Let us know. Send us a text, 402-464-5685. If you're one of the 2 winners, we'll go ahead and give you 4 tickets. 4 tickets to the Omaha Supernovas match tonight or on Saturday. Match first serve is at 7 p.m. tonight. Pre-game show, by the way, starts at 6 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket. But nonetheless, Chubby Rhino, make sure you send us your full name and your email. And William Pate, make sure you send us your full name and your email. As once again, we will those are our two winners, as it is the Atlanta Vibe. And guess what? Tonight, the Omaha Supernovas host the Atlanta Vibe. Both organizations 7-3 overall. And like we said, first serve scheduled for 7 p.m. All right. So once again, William Pate and Chubby Rhino, you guys are our winners.
Send us your email and your phone number. Well, we have a phone number. Send us your email.
Send us your email, and we'll get those tickets transferred over to you guys, and we'll be able to get you guys into the CHI Health Center tonight for the Atlanta Vibe and the Omaha Supernovas as a battle for first place commences tonight. All right, let's take our final timeout. We'll bring in Austin for the crossover coming up next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join us on Saturday, March 16th for Taylor Swift Night at the Icebox. We'll be jamming to the best hits from Travis Kelce's girlfriend all night, and you can be part of the fun too. The first 500 fans in attendance will receive a friendship bracelet, while the first 200 fans will get a Stars Taylor Swift themed poster. Are you ready for it? Get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Hey guys, it's Bill Bush. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty has opened a new location in Pender, Nebraska, in addition to their office in Lincoln. The real estate world can be confusing, so why wouldn't you want an expert helping you every step of the way? If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, or Iowa, give Ethan Sorensen a call today at 402-380-0432 or visit them online at nextagrealestate.com. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty with locations in Lincoln and now Pender, Nebraska.
Biggest question people have is, how do I start the process? What is the process? I want to build a new home, but I don't know what the first step is.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
The first step is make an appointment. Come on into my office. Let's sit around the table. Let's talk about what you're looking for, what your needs are, what your budget might be. And let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done before school starts. Once you find a good lot, let's get it reserved because there's a very limited number of lots in this town. And then start designing that floor plan that's going to be perfect for you. Next thing you know, we're moving dirt.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over $900 million back to our state since 1993. It's gone to improve our environment, education, and state fair.
Over $900 million? That's something.
I'll say.
Hey, I have a great idea for a commercial. Have someone count to 900 million out loud.
That would take 28 years. Not a good idea.
I don't know, with a little background music and some sound effects.
There's another studio down the hall. Why don't you get started?
The Nebraska Lottery, 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
The Nebraska Lottery has given over $900 million back to our state since 1993. The proceeds have helped protect and improve Nebraska's environment, funded need-based scholarships for Nebraska students, and maintained and improved facilities at the state fair.
That's terrific. You should put that on your website.
It already is. Just click on beneficiaries in the menu.
Menu? You guys serve food too?
Maybe you should get off your feet for a while.
The Nebraska Lottery. 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I vomited last night.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I literally vomited. I threw up.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Final quick segment here on the Happy Hour, as I'm joined by Austin Orman, one half of On the Block. Austin.
Rico!
Doing good today?
Chilling. We rolling.
Good? You have the same topics as everybody else?
What's everyone else been talking about?
Hey, yes. Man. Hey, this has been a crazy day and a half. What? 2 days. Just 2 days. This has been the longest day ever.
It kind of feels like it.
When we were talking yesterday, it wasn't official. So we were sitting there and we were just like,
pins and needles. Someone do something.
Oh, yeah, if he leaves, if this happens, whatever, like all of this. And then, a couple hours later, it was during old school, I believe, after the first hour, it was made official. And I was like, all right, now what? Now what are we doing? What do you do after he actually has decided to leave?
Go. Put a list together. We'll take a look at maybe some candidates for the job.
Okay.
But really, I don't think we're done discussing the move itself. What was Trev Albert's biggest mistake in this process? That's going to be a big part of this. Why do athletic directors keep leaving Nebraska? That's going to be a big part of this discussion. Was it the right decision to hire Trev Alberts to begin with?
Is he the first one to leave and not get fired? Or like this? He's not the first. I know that.
We'll go through it on the show.
You'll deal with it. So what is coming up on the block? I know that you have a guest coming up.
Yes, Sam McEwen here in just a few minutes. Wrote a really good piece on everything going down. Sam's a grizzled vet. We want his take on everything, how he sees it. And then again, we'll get into the legacy. Is it really in the trash? Are Husker fans jumping to conclusions? We'll get into some more of those other questions. What was Trev Albert's biggest sin, biggest misstep in this whole process? And then, what is it about Nebraska that ADs keep leaving for?
It's a great question. Might
not have the answer, but we're going to ask the question.
I don't know who can answer it, but that is a great question. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for participating in today's show. Keep it tuned here to 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com, the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. And keep in touch on the block with Austin and Strick. Sam McEwen joining them up next. Adios.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Thursday, March 14th.